We're back on the NBA Street City Circuit Challenge, and this game we're going up against the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets were actually surprisingly good. Remember, at this period of time, this is before they got Carmelo Anthony. They were very much a laughingstock in the NBA for a long, long period of time. Pretty much from the space of when they let Dikembe Mutombo go up until they drafted Melo, that they weren't competitive. They had talented squads, but they weren't competitive. And this Nuggets team was surprising, so obviously let's go through who they've got. They got Nick Van Exel, who was best known for his days with the Lakers, but also known for that playoff run he had with the Mavericks in 2003, where he came off the bench and he was had a 40-point playoff game against the Sacramento Kings. And he ended up starting in that playoff run too, because remember those Mavericks were decimated by injuries at the time. And they made it all the way to the conference finals, but they lost to the eventual champion Spurs. They had Antonio McDyess, who just got dunked on now. And McDyess, one of the most interesting players in the league in terms of player movement. When he was drafted in the 95-96 draft, he was the #2 pick by the Clippers, and then was traded on draft day for Brent Barry, who had a very good career. But he was drafted, I think it was 20, or 18, or 21. He was late in the first round, and pretty much the Clippers, they got Rodney Rogers as well, who was an effective scorer. But the Clippers gave up a #2 pick for that. That's just insane. He had a very good career too. He pretty much kept the Nuggets competitive for a long period of time. He was traded in '98. Oh, sorry, before the 97-98 season to the Phoenix Suns, and then he became a free agent, and then he ended up going back to Denver for whatever reason. The Suns were a pretty competitive squad. We just played them in this actually. They had Jason Kidd and Clifford Robinson. Penny Hardaway would come aboard later, but they had a really exciting team. Rex Chapman was a good player too, and they just he just went back to them. The Nuggets, I think the Nuggets came off one of the worst seasons in the history of the league. I think they had about 12 wins that year, and yeah, it was an interesting sort of thing. There's always been conspiracy theories that there was like a nod, wink kind of arrangement with the Nuggets and McDyess, and that's the only thing that sort of makes a little bit of sense. And Raef Lafrentz, who was a top 3. When I say top 3, he was a top 3 draft choice. He was actually in the same class as Michael Candy and that draft class. And yeah, so that's their squad. I'm running with Stevie Francis and Tim Duncan and Alonzo Mourning. Now I wanted to, as I was talking in the last game, that was a sweet shot from behind the backboard, by the way. I like that shot. I wanted to use some variations, some different lineups, and I wanted to see how I'd run with 2 big guys, and this was a good opportunity to do so, and it worked out perfectly because Denver actually ran with 2 big guys. I wasn't expecting them to have this lineup, and they were actually really competitive. Nick Van Exel was good in this game, good handles, outside shot, actually had a dunk or 2 in it. Stevie Francis played well. Alonzo played great. Alonzo just absolutely crashes people. Right on cue, there's the dunk where he just... I don't know why Raef Lafrentz fell over there. Why did he fall over? He's just standing. He didn't even go up for the block, and he just decided to flop. Maybe this game was so far ahead of its time it had the flop feature. But that's all well and good. I was anticipating Alonzo to go up for that. That's why I dished off. It ended up getting the bucket anyway. I'm up 13-9, and McDyess was an absolute star in this. Like, he was dunked. Some of his dunks in this. Granted, I had 2 big guys and 2 shot blockers. I felt I had no chance of even... The moment he went up for dunks, there was no opportunity for me to even block him. You see Nick Van Exel getting a dunk there over Stevie Francis. Nick Van Exel actually has a few dunks in his NBA career. You should YouTube it, look it up. You'll find some of them. And he was one of the more athletic guards in that period until he slowed down. He was nicknamed Nick the Quick, ironically, and he had some great clutch shots as well. So there's a huge dunk by McDyess, and there's a steal, and right now the momentum is definitely turning as the Nuggets on the verge of a game breaker. I'm up 15-13, But, you know, it's 16-13 now, but if they get a game breaker and hit a 3, I'm in all sorts of trouble. At that point, I was happy. When he got that crossover and faked me out, I just, like, that's fine. You know, you take that dunk, I'll still have the lead, and I've still got a pretty good head start on the second game breaker. All I got to do is just sort of defend as best I can, hope McDyess isn't going up for a dunk or two, and, you know, go down and not screw it up. I'm happy with Exel coming inside and trying to score. I've got to be wary about Raef Lafrentz in his outside shot, because he can make that shot. And there's Alonzo with a nice board. Duncan's down on the other end and he throws it down, so I'm up by 3 again. So order has been restored, but it got a little bit shaky at times. It would have been embarrassing to drop to them after, you know, some fairly dominant performances, especially up against Dallas. There's another steal that I don't know why I was crossing up there, because quite honestly, Exel cannot contend with Stevie Francis at the front of the rim. There's a 3 that had me a bit concerned, because all of a sudden 17 all. Am I going to lose to these Nuggets? You know, this is not a Carmelo Anthony Chauncey Billups Denver Nuggets. This is a Raef Lafrentz Exel Denver Nuggets. I'm up by 1 at that point, but I love the fact that when they know they're screwed, they will try to dish it out. And there's McDyess going up. He dishes it out and a block. And that was my first forced shot clock violation on the opponent. I'm feeling pretty good about myself now. All I have to do is essentially just finish it off. Just keep scoring. Just get dunks. Attack Exel. Make them come over on double teams. If they come over on help, then dish it to the open guy and let him go in for a dunk. No 3s should be allowed, and I'll be good. There's Exel with a nice left-hand floater that goes over the big man off the glass. And there's Alonzo hitting a clutch shot that I wanted him to dunk it, but it was alright. You can put up a 4-footer if you want, as long as you make it. See what I mean about McDyess? I mean, there's Alonzo coming over, and he had no chance. This was a sweet way to finish it. That alley-oop to Big Zo and the busted rim, and I'm able to take care of business and beat the Denver Nuggets.